What's in the cards for you this week? Hello, hello. Happy new moon week. We have new moon in Aquarius this week and the new Lunar New Year. Happy New Year. Oh my goodness. All right. So let me make sure that I am live in all of the places. And as you jump on, say a quick hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's see if this will connect for me. Yay! I think I'm connected at least to one group. And then if I can make these things go away so I can see if you guys comment. Hello, welcome. It's so great to be with all of you live. I enjoy this time so much where we can come together and celebrate and get ready for the week ahead, tune into the energetic practices that can help you and to just be prepared for the energetic weather that's ahead of us. That's one of the best things we can do. And today I want to talk about 3 simple ways that you can thrive during uncertain times, because I know myself, my clients, my students, there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of things that we can read that can put us into a state of fear. And when we go into a state of fear, we go into contraction. And when we go into contraction, it's difficult to see opportunities that are around us. It's challenging to find the solutions or see them. And when that happens, we really are in the opposite of thriving. We go into survival mode. And there's a lot of uncertainty. And I want to give you the techniques and share with you what's worked for me, what I see working for my students, my clients, so that as we navigate these years ahead, you have tools that you can come back to remind you that there's always potential and possibility, that you're not alone. You have friends in high places, your angels, God, universe, to call on. And so without further ado, let's jump in. Julie, hello. Thanks for joining. I want to make sure I'm not. So interesting. Oh, I see what it wants me to do. It wants me to start the live video. It was supposed to start automatically. Holy cannoli. So welcome, welcome. Hi, Chihuahua. You think you got this tech stuff down. Okay, so now I'm live in all of the groups, and I'm going to move this out of the way so I can see. Let's just tune in for this week ahead and the overarching energy of the week. What's most important that you need to know? I'm going to just shuffle those cards a little bit more. Ooh, one popped up and then hid. What's most important that everyone know who's tuning in to watch? Okay, and 2 cards are coming out. Ooh, very interesting. And I'm going to pull a third, because when certain cards come out, they need some explanation. So we're going to pull the little explanation. All righty. So big week ahead. The first card that comes up is one of completion. It's the World card. Something's coming to an end or a closure. It's like graduation day. It's a chance to bring things full circle. You have the Ouroboros, the snake that eats its tail there surrounding her. She's excited. She's thrilled. She's taken that step from the Fool card where she's jumping into potential and possibility, the blueprint that's behind her. And it's very subtle, but in this, maybe you can see, I love the artist Chris Ann who did this deck. It's the Light Seers, and you can find a link to it in the description around this video. But it's this beautiful set of circles, and it's called the Seed of Life. And from the Seed of Life, we have essentially the blueprint of our soul. Everything that we're meant to accomplish, our architectural plans, just like the acorn holds the plans for the big oak tree. This beautiful seed of life contains the essence, the architecture, the blueprint for what our soul came here to experience and accomplish. And she's at this point where she is celebrating. Now, this reminds me very much with the card that came out next when we think about the energy of this week, is that sometimes when we reach the top, when we hit our goal, like we're climbing up the mountain, we take a deep breath. We're like, oh, thank God I made it. But where we tend to lose focus is the coming down from the mountain. It's that part after the success, what comes next. That's where we might be tired. We're like, oh, well, I already climbed the mountain. I don't have to pay attention going downhill. It's not as hard as uphill. And that's when we can get hurt, because it's actually coming down the hill. It's the other side of success, the point of transition that you really want to pay attention to. And when I taught yoga, I really emphasized transitions, the space between the poses, just like the gap between the breath. And I'm going to bring us through some meditative exercises in these weekly shows too. Or maybe I'll make another time for meditative practices, because I don't want to make this too long. But I do feel I keep getting more and more intuitive hits that meditative practices are so important to help calm the mind. And the meditative practices are one way, one of the 3 simple steps to help you thrive during uncertain times. But it is the gap between the inhale and the exhale that meditators focus on, because it is that gap between, it's the transition between the inhale and the exhale that enables people to step like a doorway. It's a doorway to connection to the divine. And it's a really beautiful practice. So I'm going to just say, yes, you have reached success. Something is coming to conclusion or closure. Now, what comes next? This is important. We've got that good old handsome devil card that shows up. Hi, Hannah. So great to have you. And this wonderful devil card, this is nothing outside of ourselves hurting or harming us. This is when we're our own worst enemy, when we make choices that aren't in our highest and best interest. So, for example, we may want to start a health regime where we're getting in shape and we decide to stay up late and we don't get up early to exercise. And then the day happens and we don't get the workout in. It could be, we eat the food that we know is going to upset our tummy, or we procrastinate on a project and then later feel overly stressed, or we overextend ourselves. We make promises that run us into the ground. So yes, you have experienced success. When you're coming down from the mountain now, be mindful that you don't put yourself into, I'll say detriment. To be very mindful as to the promises you make, the goals that you're setting for the next chapter, because you are, when I pull okay, well, where are we going with this? We have the Fool card. So we go right back to the beginning from A to Z, A to Z, or Z to A, Z to A. I love that Z. But you can see right down here, there's the flower of life, or the seed of life. The seed of life is composed within the flower of life, sacred geometric shape. Here it's behind her. Here she's taking that leap of faith into it. She's got the yellow on. That signifies 3rd chakra, confidence, self-esteem. I can do this. I'm going for it, taking this leap of faith. I don't know everything that's down the road, but I'm going to trust that it'll work out. I'm going for it. And it does. She goes through the journey and she makes it to the other side. But right here in between is this little guy. Hello, hubba hubba. What is tempting you? It might be a short-term win or a short-term feel good, just like, that chocolate bar. You're like, oh, that was so great. And then afterwards, you're like, why did I do that? Or staying up late or overextending. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath before you start the next chapter. The transition part is important. Watch and make the choices from a very grounded space. And we're going to talk about that because today with the moon in Capricorn, it's wonderful for big picture envisioning, like, where am I going? Let me create the, like the architect, the vision, the plan, the framework for what I want to accomplish. And we'll fill in the details as we go, but today is very much a visionary day. But sometimes when we do that visionary stuff, we bite off more than we can chew. It's kind of like, oh, I can do this, 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 and this, and this. Learn from the past and take a moment to really reflect on, you know what, the last time I made such an ambitious goal, I ended up burned out. So I want to be mindful that when I take this next leap of faith, here she is, that I'm bringing with me some of the wisdom that I learned from the last cycle. Okay, so let's jump in farther into this week. And by the way, if we haven't met, my name is Irina Miller. I'm an energy alchemist, a spiritual life guide, and an astrologer. And it is my joy to bring you these sacred practices that I have been studying in depth for the last 3 decades. Started this journey in the 90s and have studied everything and certified, initiated whatever I can, from yoga to cards, the tarot, to crystal healing, sound healing, mediumship, astrology. If it has anything to do with spirit, I will be there. And it is my joy to bring very unique energy recipes to you. Hello, beautiful soul. Oh, I'm glad you made it. Oh, thank you so much for being here live. Okay, So with that being said, I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any comments there. All right. This week ahead, the overarching energy of the week, we look at the phases of the moon, because a phase of the moon can affect many of us on an energy level, whether we feel kind of tired and run down, or we feel like I just can't sleep. And the moon is waning. It's a waning crescent moon all the way into the new moon that happens on Wednesday, January 29th, new moon in Aquarius. And so we're in the dark time of the moon, this balsamic moon phase, which can become very introspective, very quiet, reflective. And this is a great time to really go within and contemplate. Many people who are moon sensitive, meaning, you just kind of know when the moon's full or new, your energy bobs and flows, your emotions can too. But when the moon is new, many people, their energy is a little bit lower, typically. When the moon is full or going towards full, energy starts to ramp up. It might be harder to sleep at night. So if you're lacking energy this week, that's okay. It's meant to be a little bit more introspective. Then, as we get from that midweek point from Wednesday, hump day, the moon starts to grow in light. So therefore, all of a sudden, energy starts to build once again. The general overarching sense is that when we're in this set of moon phase, you're letting go to prepare for the new. So when we looked at that card, the world card where the girl was in the circle, the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail, things have come full circle and we're getting ready for the next cycle. It's very reflective of the waning moon and preparation for new. Because if we want to plant a new seed, if we want to bring something into being, we have to make room for it. It's like if you're getting your garden ready for spring growth, you have to pull out the weeds. You've got to make sure the pH is right, the nutrients are in the soil. If you have a bunch of overgrowth and it's lacking in the nutrients, the next garden isn't going to be able to grow and take root. It'll be choked out by the weeds. It won't have the nutrients it needs. So we are letting go. And then as we get to that new moon on Wednesday, we can plant the seed. It is Lunar New Year, so happy Lunar New Year. It is the year of the wood snake. And so this is a time of reflection. The snake energy can be very mysterious. In snakes, they do shed their skin. They're getting ready for a rebirth. And so very interesting that snake symbolism even showed up with the energy of this week. And we'll dive into that a little bit more at another time, but just take that into note as you're preparing for your week ahead, that if energy is a little low in the beginning, you just get plenty of time for sleep. Don't overextend yourself. And towards the end of the week, you'll have more energy for playing. Okay, with that said, let's break down the week ahead. And as we go through, I'll be giving you some of those tips on the 3 simple ways to thrive during uncertain times. So first, Monday. Monday moon is in Capricorn. And as we tune into that Capricorn energy, what's the most important thing that you need to know? Wow, lots of cards keep popping out. So I'm going to just pay attention to who pops out. So first card that popped out was the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is where we feel like, let me say it this way. There's light on the horizon. The worst is over. The new energy is coming in. And the fact that the overarching energy is the world, we've come full circle. Maybe you felt betrayed. Maybe you felt like somebody has done you wrong. Maybe somebody has. Maybe somebody had betrayed you and you felt like you were stabbed in the back. But the worst part is over. The new light is coming. Keep your eyes focused on the light. And that's really the second part, the second step of these 3 simple steps. The first one is a meditative practice, and I'll talk about ways to incorporate that into practice. And the second is focus on the light. And what I mean by that is focus on the things that light up your heart and give you hope. Be able to anchor yourself in the hope. That might be sacred scripture. It might be music. It might be being with uplifting friends, watching a funny movie. But what are the things that add light to your life? There's a term in the yoga world called laghima. It's a lightness of being. So how can you feel lighter in your step and not so weighed down by the heaviness and the burden of the world? What is light for you? What gives you hope? Because the other card that popped up was the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is when we feel like we're in competition with one another or even with ourselves, where we beat ourselves up about not achieving certain things or being farther ahead in our goals. And it's saying, be mindful. Be mindful with the way you treat yourself, because being in this Aquarian vibration, the sun is in Aquarius. Aquarius energy is frequency, and it's ruled by air. And so air is associated with the mental realm, with thoughts. Watch your thoughts. Your thoughts combined with your feelings are creating a unique vibration and frequency. And I feel like it's popping up more and more for me. It must have fallen into an algorithm where I love that wonderful demonstration of the two tuning forks. And you have two tuning forks of the same hertz. And when you play one, the other one starts to vibrate, which is essentially demonstrating your vibe attracts your tribe. What you are emitting energetically is going to bring those experiences into your life. That's where like law of attraction, manifesting kind of has taken root and jumped from. But truly think about those days when everything feels like it's going wrong. You know, you wake up late, you stub your toe, you spill your coffee on your shirt, you know, and you're just like, oh my God, it's, what do they call that? Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. No. Cancel, clear, delete. Learn how to shift that frequency fast by saying, okay, yeah, everything went to hell in a handbasket. Now what? Now I'm going to focus on the light. Good times are on the horizon. There is light coming in, new energies coming in. How can I connect with that? Part of it is making sure that you're not putting yourself in competition with others or beating yourself up because you haven't gotten farther ahead. Competition can spur us on. It can be very healthy. But at the same time, if we fall into that comparisonitis, then we're not going to get anywhere fast. It's like trying to run in sand or quicksand. We're reaching for the light, but reach for the light in a way that feels in integrity with your heart. So Monday with the moon in Capricorn, Capricorns are very serious. They're not, it's not an emotional moon. So that's nice in the sense of it can be very much about business. It's not personal, it's business. You know, there's no crying in baseball. It's my favorite line for a moon in Capricorn. You're able to step into the role of visionary, be very practical and down to earth, and say, I'm going to create my framework. And I think today is really a great day. And for those in my Moon Club, I'm going to be sharing a technique that I use with sacred geometry, where I like to plan my year ahead. I'm feeling very called to encourage all of you to utilize a practice, even if it's just to jot down your ideas, like what are my goals for this year? If you've already jotted them down, look at them, review them, and just make sure you're not biting off more than you can chew. That little devil card might be tempting, like, oh, I'll just do this one more thing. I'm going to write a book too. And I'm going to make a deck of cards, and I'm going to create this course, and I'm going to breathe, you know, what's in divine right balance for you. Okay, so with that being said, Tuesday, the moon is in Aquarius energy. So we've moved into Aquarius energy. And I want to take note that the moon is void of course Eastern time from 10:48 a.m. Eastern until 2:31 p.m. So it's around like late morning, lunchtime, early afternoon. And you can adjust for your time zone. I won't do that because I'll get myself confused and off track. But here's the thing about a moon void of course. Think of it like being on a boat where all of a sudden, if you're on a sailboat with a motor, the motor's not working and there's no wind blowing. So you're just kind of floating there. It's an in-between time. Essentially, the moon void of course means that the moon is not talking or interacting with any of the other planets. And so therefore, she's just kind of hanging out and she's not really in conversation or working. So when the moon is void of course, there's a phrase that's used, nothing will come of it. So if you're trying to start something brand new, you know, if you're trying to like sign a contract or buy something that's really large, take a moment to take a deep breath and just wait until after 2:31 p.m. When the moon goes into Aquarius. And because it does start off in Capricorn early Tuesday morning. But 2:31, it moves into Aquarius. So I'm just going to encourage you, just wait unless it's early morning for you before you make any big decisions or start anything brand new. Okay, with that being said, what's most important that you need to know about Tuesday's energy, and again, 2 cards, it's like double trouble. Temperance. Whenever I see this card, I always think of the Archangel Michael watching over us. It is the balance between the sun and the moon, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine, and it is about finding the sweet spot. Temperance is being temperate. We're not going to one extreme or the other. We're trying to find the path of the middle, equanimity. And when we are looking for that sweet spot, that balance, you might on Tuesday with that moon first starting in Capricorn, again, review what are your goals for this year? What are you trying to accomplish? Maybe even this week. And when you are accomplishing them, make sure that, again, it's in divine right balance between the doing energy that represents sun, yang or yang energy, and then the yin, the lunar, the being, the rest, the reflection. Are your overarching plans in harmony? Do you have a healthy balance between doing and being? And then as that moon moves into Aquarius later on in the day, 2:31 p.m. Eastern, you're going to be really embodying the frequency of that because the decision's been made. The 3 of Wands pops up here. She's waiting for the opportunity, the right wave to come in. She's not rushing it. So in transitions, that's the other thing to take into account. This week, I'm going to say it's a week about transitions and uncertainty. If you think about it, the uncertain times really pop up when we are in transition. Think about it, like graduating from high school. Where am I going to go to college? Graduating from college. Oh, how am I going to find a job? Where will I work? Getting into a serious relationship. Oh my gosh, I'm taking this leap of faith, this commitment. How is it going to work? I don't know. What's it going to be like to live with someone, be married to someone, having a child or a fur baby? I know for me, I wanted to have fur babies so much in my heart, but I really was concerned about the responsibility of taking, oh, my little Gracie down there, my little fur baby, the responsibility of taking care of a cute little fur baby. There she is. She's such a sweetheart. Hopefully it didn't make you dizzy. But it's this leap of faith, like the transition before you've made the decision, but you're waiting for the opportunity, the wave to come in. When is that right time? So on Tuesday, allow yourself to feel into it with that Aquarius frequency. Okay. Wednesday, we have that new moon happening, new moon in Aquarius, and we're celebrating the Lunar New Year. I'm just going to ask, how can you make the most of this new moon energy? All right. Seriously, the cards just, okay, here we go. 3 of Wands, she popped up again, and she popped up with the High Priestess. So 3 of Wands, like I said, she's made her decision. The opportunity is coming in. So this is a card of, I hesitate to say patience. It's more about being alert and being on the ready. And so it's not hypervigilance, but it is saying I'm paying attention. Because when the opportunity happens, opportunity strikes, if we're not ready and prepared, we miss it. And yeah, there'll be other waves coming in, but they'll be different. So I'm going to say, especially on Wednesday, what comes through with this new moon energy, because it's a 9-degree Aquarian new moon, and that's about taking action. Be prepared to take action when the opportunity presents itself, because opportunities will come this week. And how will you see the opportunities? The more that you pause in the quiet. High Priestess, she knows the answer, but she's not telling you because she knows that it won't mean as much coming from her, that you need to discover it on your own. And how do you discover it? You block out the world and you go within. So a meditative practice with that new moon on Wednesday, and I'll have a practice for my Moon Club members. And by the way, if you're like, what is this Irina's talking about with Moon Club? What is that? I'm just going to pop that up on the screen so you can check it out and see what that's all about. And it's just irinamiller.co/club. And there we go. I'll make sure I don't miss anything over there. But you can see all the details there. Wednesday, meditative practice is going to be really, really helpful. So you've made the big plans Monday, Tuesday, the overarching. You're starting to embody the frequency and the vibe of it. And as you get into that new moon, go into the meditative state so you can be prepared and alert for when that wave of opportunity comes your way. Ooh, that's exciting. Thursday, the moon starts off in Aquarius, and later in the day, about 5:53 p.m. Eastern, it moves into Pisces. We also have another long void of course moon, really long one on Thursday. Starts about 6:30 a.m. Eastern and goes all the way until almost 6 p.m. Eastern. So it's almost 12 hours long. So Thursday, after that new moon, you might have like a new moon hangover. I'm going to encourage you to simply remember how the temperance card came up, that yin and yang. Thursday's a good day for being energy where you simply say, okay, I'm going to listen. I'm going to be aware. I'm going to be alert. Don't feel like you've got to force yourself into action on Thursday. If somebody comes up and they want you to make a decision or a choice with Thursday's energy, 9, 10. Okay, I'm just kind of looking at the counting in my head the degree of the day. I'm going to encourage you to just pause and say, hey, listen, I need to meditate on this. I need to pray on this. I need to think on this. And if they don't give you the time and space to do that, think twice about moving forward with that opportunity. But think on it, be with it, sit with it, let it percolate and marinate on Thursday. And what's most important that you need to know, very intuitive psychic day for certain Thursday. So what's most important? Here we go. She popped out. Queen of Wands. Well, now this is interesting because the Queen of Wands is the just do it card. But it's also reminding us that we can burn ourselves out. We can overdo. And there might be this feeling of like, just do it, act now, think later. That old phrase drives me nuts, like, do it now, ask for forgiveness later. No, I'm going to say cancel, clear, delete. Give yourself some time to remember what lights you up. You are such an inspiration and a light. And I know that all of you who watch this, all of you who tune in, are inspirations for other people in your world, that you provide hope and inspiration. You listen, you offer guidance and help in your own way. And when you are a spiritual practitioner in that manner, it's important that you refill your spiritual tank, meaning, I always call it, how do you feed your spirit? How are you refilling and reigniting that light within you? Because sometimes it goes dim. Sometimes we're tired. Sometimes we're overwhelmed and overburdened. Feed your spirit on Thursday. Do something that helps your inner flame and light grow to a significant bright level so that you can continue to light the candles around you, because you are an inspiration. Watch for overdoing it on Thursday. Okay, Friday, the moon is in Pisces. What's most important that you need to know about moon in Pisces? No, she doesn't want to come up. Let's see who's here. Oh, Temperance comes up again. Interesting how we have a lot of repeats. Breathe. So Friday with the moon in Pisces. Pisces moon, you might feel a little bit more emotional. I always think of Pisces as still waters run deep. They're very steady on the surface, meaning they seem very present. They don't seem extra emotional like the Cancer moon. That's me. But they feel so deeply. They feel everything. And they have a heart that wants to help. And so again, make sure that what you are doing feels in divine, right, energetic balance. If you are giving a lot of energy, make sure that you are replenishing what you are giving so that you don't end up overextended and overburdened. There's a temperance, there's an equanimity, a sweet spot that really is being searched for. And the other thing too that I'll say with that, because I always think of this as an angelic card, whether it's this deck or any of the others, there's an angel present here in Temperance. And the Temperance card is one that I would invite you to call on your angels to be with you, especially on Friday, every day for sure, but Friday, reach out to them. Maybe ask Archangel Michael's guidance to help be aware of where there might be energetic cords that are draining your energy, essentially where maybe people are expecting a lot from you, or you're trying your best to support others, and just imagine this beautiful violet light washing over the whole body, dissolving any of the cords or connections that might be draining you, and asking Archangel Michael's help for that, with that. And of course, always ground before you do any of these practices. And if you don't have a grounding practice, I'm going to just share the one that I do with all of my clients and students. It is One Way of Grounding, irenamiller.co/get calm, 2-minute audio guided meditation to help you ground. Because when we're grounded, things are a lot easier to navigate. We're not energetically whacked. We don't absorb as much. And as empaths, that's important. So that's part of the first step, the first simple way to thrive. It's to be grounded through a meditative practice, and this can help you with that. The second step was to anchor yourself in light, what brings you light. And then the third part is take action. Bring movement into your world. Don't just sit there waiting for the miracles to fall at your feet. They definitely can, but this is a divine dance, a dance of co-creating with God universe. What are you being called to do? Nudge to take action on. We live in a physical world, so we can hope and we can pray and we can petition. But the thing is the insight and information will come our way. If we don't take action, then we're letting down our end of the bargain. It's like the old story about Joe, who is, the floodwaters come. He's like, dear God, please save me. The floodwaters are coming. I need your help. Please save me. And so he runs up to his roof as the floodwaters are rising, and neighbors come by in a little canoe, and they're like, hop in. He's like, no, it's okay. God's going to save me. And people are like, hop in. No, I'm okay. And then, the motorboat comes by, like, hop in. No, I'm waiting. God's going to save me. The helicopter, search and rescue comes. Grab the rope. We'll pull you to safety. No, God's going to save me. And then Joe ends up at the pearly gates in heaven. God, why didn't you save me? You said you'd answer all my prayers. And God said, I sent you a canoe, a speedboat, a helicopter. What more, You said no to them all. We have free will. We need to ask and we need to receive. We need to take action. So ground through a meditative practice. When you are grounded in a meditative practice, you'll see opportunity more easily. Anchor yourself in that light of hope to see the opportunity, and then take action on those intuitive nudges and hints that you get. It makes all the difference. So then from Friday into Saturday's energy, Saturday we start off with the moon in Pisces. What's most important that you need to know? Queen of Wands pops up again. This is crazy the way these cards are repeating. So Queen of Wands, where can you be of light in this world? Where can you offer hope? Think about the different ways, all the little ways that you make a difference, the way you pay it forward. It could be smiling at someone. It could be complimenting them throughout the day. It could be thanking them for something that they're doing. It could be, buying someone's coffee, for the person behind, or paying the toll, or whatever it is. How are you offering hope in this world, being a light to others, inspiring them? And take action with that. Again, the week has been preparing you in divine right balance. Don't overextend yourself, energy in, energy out kind of thing. And it's not apples to apples. It really isn't. It's kind of like not all calories are created equally. The calories in a donut compared to the calories in an apple, our body will process it differently. So we might help someone, and the joy and the love and the excitement of seeing that person have a breakthrough might create the energetic exchange that we need. And that might be enough. But it needs to feel like it's in divine right balance. Otherwise, with the Piscean energy, so moon's in Pisces Saturday, they give and they give and they give and they give. And empaths and people who give like that out of balance end up feeling very resentful. No one appreciates them, where are the people when I need them? And because they've appeared so strong to so many, other people often feel like, well, you don't need help. You're so strong. You've got your world together. They don't realize that kind of collected, very still water that looks calm and cool is churning underneath. It's like the duck who floats across the surface, but their little feet go paddle, 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 paddle. There's a lot going on with Pisces. They care and they love and they feel so deeply, highly, highly intuitive. So make sure things feel like they're in divine, right, energetic exchange. Sunday moon is in Aries. What's most important that you need to know? Four of Wands, she hopped right out. Four of Wands is celebration. So you know how we started out with the World card that said something's coming to conclusion? Sunday would be a great day to have a party. Sunday, get together with your friends, that feeling of stability. Things are safe right now. I've got a foundation beneath me. I've achieved this goal. I'm getting ready for the next. Give yourself this time to celebrate your successes. A lot of times we don't. Life is busy and we don't stop to mark those important moments. Even if it seems very small, it just might be like, yay, we survived the winter holidays. We're getting ready for the new lunar year, or we're getting ready for the next chapter. Maybe a project is wrapping. Some little form of celebration. Those are the rituals that offer us hope. Think about it. January and February can sometimes be very tough months in the Northern Hemisphere, especially in the colder areas where it's dark and dreary and stick season, gray skies, muddy, grass and fields. And we can feel a little wah-wah, that seasonal affective disorder. Bring the light into your world. Bring the light in. And sometimes that's simply through a good reason to celebrate, a good reason to throw a party. And that can make all the difference. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Have an incredible week. Happy new moon. Happy new Lunar New Year. That's a tongue twister. And I'll see you all here next Monday, 9:30 a.m. And just as a quick recap, the 3 simple steps that you can do to really thrive during uncertain times, during the moments of transition. Develop a meditative practice. And that, and I'm going to show it again. This little guide, the irinamiller.co/get calm, that's a great way to begin. That's going to help ground you. When you have that practice, you're going to be able to do the second simple step, which is see the opportunities with more ease around you to stay anchored in the light of hope. Like, my prayers are being answered. I can see them being answered. If we're in fear, we don't see that the prayers are being answered, and they are 100%. Truly believe that. And then the final thing is action. Take action on the intuitive nudges and hints that you're getting. Remember Joe and the floods and the airplanes or helicopters. We need to take action. This isn't a one-sided life. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, yes. You are here co-creating with the divine. This is a partnership. This is a joy to be able to experience this physicality and bring forth this light and hope. So thank you, Hannah, for being here. Thank you, Julie. Have an amazing day. Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.